one of you guys be streaking onto the field next match?
I was so
Which one are you
confused.
going
I
to?
didn't see it on TV, and I had to find out. And like I got photos, video. It did not disappoint.
No,
What a
first
waste of
half of
money.
that. Yeah, well, and it was funny because we ended up getting a person with a shirt causing a disturbance in a way later in the match. But I grew up in the age of YouTube, like Vitali, who would run on the field and do stupid shit, and he would have a like message on his shirt. This guy didn't. He had nothing. He just decided to. He loved League's Cup so much. He felt great about it. This
Don't we
match,
all?
that match against Santos Laguna had a streaker, a rescinded red card, a real red card, disallowed goals,
Multiple
uh,
VAR delays,
multiple VAR delays.
a fist fight within the first 5 minutes, almost,
Yes, and and
and
Georgi
a,
Minoungou remembered that he could play.
and Gino Suarez.
Yeah, MLS, please sponsor Circle H Seattle Sports. Since you retweeted us, obviously that's an endorsement. We'll get back to Soundwaves from the Sea. We're back with a full group here. It's not just me and Mike hanging out being best buds in the world. Um, Owen has returned from track. He's running so much, running so fat. No, I'm not kidding.
From
Um,
Tracktown, as one would say.
Tracktown. Sources are saying Tracktown. Yeah, so the Sounders are in this Leagues Cup thing, and they're doing very well in it. Probably should not have any goals allowed in the entire tournament yet, but that goal at the end. Um, Uh, this Snow, Ohio guy who is not going to become a Seattle Sounder will probably lump in some of the other. They're all West Coast teams. Well, Western Conference, I should say, if we're going to include the Colorado stuff. There's some stuff with that, and then we'll look at Club Tijuana on Wednesday. So yes, this the Seattle Seahawks beat Cruz Azul 7-0, one touchdown. No, the question was raised a few times like how great was this performance by the Sounders? The score 7 against a Cruz Azul side that was playing their starters, correct? Their full starters. Um, they had thrashed around and beaten what was it, LAF? No, Vancouver. Sorry, Vancouver. I'm so used to LAFC being the boogeyman. In what CONCACAF Champions Cup. Uh, but then they come to Lumen Field, and 90 minutes is a long time in Lumen Field. Uh, the first half of this match, like the Sounders, what they almost had a Ferreira goal. Jesus' agenda almost continued, but he was offsides. Uh, it's kind of a meh first half, and then the floodgates opened in 3 minutes into the second half. Yamar scored, Obed Vargas scored, Jesus Ferreira got a real goal. Saze scored, a nice celebration to honor his father. Um, Pedro scored twice. Luz Peste La Vega? Question mark. Michael. Michael.
Yes.
Uh, and knew who scored, which that you just know it's a meme. Cruz Azul got bashed by all their local media. This was like they became the laughing stock. I thought I was reading that they've lost by 7-4, so this was like seven twice. Um, One of the weirdest matches of all time. Seattle, they actually had less shots. No, okay, sorry. They had two more shots in this match than they did this win over Santos Laguna. 10 shots on target, five big chances, and just really obliterated Cruz Azul in the opening match of the contest. Owen didn't see it. He said, I'm not watching this one. And they go and do this. They said, Owen, you're going to regret that.
How
Uh,
is it worse?
Mike, yeah, God forbid you do that. Um, Mike, what the hell was this? And I guess for you and Owen, I mean, given the context, I'm sure maybe you've had some thoughts on this. Where would this rank in terms of performances for Seattle? So, Mike, to you first, and then we'll go to Owen for that second half of the question.
I think it's the best half in Sounders history, to be honest. That was pretty damn good, if I must say. But honestly, the thing that caught my eye the most was just the way the Sounders were pressing Cruz Azul. We've seen them like pressing this like kind of 4-3-3 ish style a few times this season, but this time they really like put their foot on the gas and just went at Cruz Azul the whole time. I just had a lot of fun with it. Literally from like right from kickoff all the way to, for the full 90. It was just a blast.
Yeah, I mean, when I go back and think of like dominant performances like this in Sounders history that stick in my head, I go to the 6-2 game against Portland, right? But that game even was weird too because the Sounders, score a couple, then get pegged back. They go Montero scored twice, I think, in the first half hour or so, but then they concede two, um, and score four in the second half. Shout out Jimmy Miranda and Nicholas Benezet, my hero. Um,
Oh, miss him so much.
but that was also kind of a weird game in the sense that the Sounders didn't really get to just put their foot on the Timbers' neck until the second half, and you really feel maybe until that Madranda goal. In this game, the first half, you do look good, but they weren't creating maybe quite to that level. You guys can talk about this more, but only three shots, one on target in the first half. It was a big chance. Um, they controlled it, 65% possession, but you're not maybe getting that foot on the neck. But the vigor with which you see them come out for the second half there is just unbelievable, and makes me think about that game where it really took till the second half to get the foot on the neck.
All it took was Cruz Azul coming out a couple minutes late, and Sounders said, "Absolute the fuck not," and just, just decided just to go all in on them. And it was great.
Leagues Cup, man. That's a great, yeah, because I had kind of forgotten with all the stuff about the 7 goals. I had kind of forgotten about the fact that Cruz Azul said we're gonna make you wait. I guess the Sounders took that personally and decided to thrash them around. Uh, yeah, Nicholas Benezet. That is fun. And Jimmy Madranda. Hey, who needs really big U22 signings when you can just bring where's Jimmy Madranda now? What's he doing?
The real question here is whether Jimmy's goal or Pedro's goal was better, and I'm curious where you guys fall.
Oh,
That's actually a debate that
Or
was
you can
happening on
just
the
say
internet.
I wanna enjoy both of them.
Nah, give me Pedro de la Vega every time.
Really, really,
I think I'll
why?
Yes.
take Pedro's just because he didn't like the ball didn't even touch the net. Like
Like the yeah. Didn't touch the ground the
Over
entire
a
time.
double crossbar hit,
Yes.
Pedro, I
bar
thought Pedro
down
should
times
do.
two.
Oh, no, I'm still taking
I
that.
lean towards Jimmy just because of the precision there. But taking it out of the air first time is unbelievable on a pass like that. And shout out the pass too, honestly.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, that ball from Alex Rodon was insane. The vision to hit that ball right across like that at that angle was just pristine.
True, and honestly, we should talk about it. Alex Roldan is keeping Kalana Costa Ramsey out of this lineup. Um,
yeah,
we were doubting him. And he's
a
really
little bit.
stepped in and had some strong. There was that period where he played center back for a little bit. And it was important to see that he is solid defensively. But what we talk about when we like Kalana Costa Ramsey is how strong he is going forward. Um, and Alex Rodon really picked that up, and that's good to see that they have a legitimate battle there at right back. And I think Alex Rodon's winning it.
He
I
just
was gonna
needed
say,
a
'cause I know
couple
we've all
games at
been
Captain Alex
center back.
Rodon, by the way.
Captain Alex
Yes.
Rodon, yes.
Oh no,
That
I
kind of
was just
surprised me to
saying.
be honest. I thought in
Oh
the
yeah,
second game that it was gonna go to Rusnak just because I feel like he has more leadership qualities, but like, hey, credit to Alex where it's due.
Honestly. But a good game. And I guess I'm just never gonna watch a Sounders game again because it just doesn't get better than that.
I, yeah. I don't know if they'll ever do something like that again. And the fact that again it was all in the second half is so weird. Um, yeah, no, it's interesting with Alex, both as you mentioned, Mike, with the captaincy, uh, and with Owen talking about it. Yeah, I was like, all right, Alex rolled on. It's the Colin Cowherd, LeBron James, Ben Simmons meme. Alex Rodon, we're okay. Kalani Kosadrianzi is here. Yeah, no, I mean, it just took him a couple games of center back to wake up, I guess. I don't know. Um, it was kind of weird late into last night's match against Santos Laguna, being like, oh, well, they subbed him on pretty late. I don't know when it was. I was like, oh yeah, it's right. You are still around. Um, where was this? Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong match. I'm a smart guy, I promise. Um, 90. Oh yeah, well yeah, the 90th minute. No shit. So. Yeah, took could have Terry business. I don't know if a club had a better start to their Leagues Cup run outside of Seattle, and in the first match at least.
I will
Yeah,
say
I
one of the biggest things that I know, one of the biggest piece of news I think from that is that the fact that this game cl tied the club record for the most goals in a single match was 7. I thought it was fun. That's a fun little stat. Just to put out there. Just drop it in there.
yeah, there's only one other thing I want to talk about, which is that so we know Brian Schmetzer said, "Hey, I'm bringing out my strongest starting lineup for this game." Um, and apparently that lineup included Ryan Kent, uh, who played 72 minutes, most fouled player in the game, 6, won the most duels, 10, of any player in this game, 1 touch in the other team's box, 3 of 6 successful dribbles. What I didn't expect him to be in Brian Schmetzer's strongest team, and he wasn't in there against Santos Laguna. Where do we fall with Mr. Kent?
I was kind of surprised he didn't appear in the Santos match, honestly. I thought that match could have used a little bit of him, but
I mean,
we are at a weird place
is he
with
in the
him, aren't we?
strongest 11? I don't
Right
think he
now?
is. No.
No, as of right now, no. Not with the form that Pedro de Vega and Jesus Ferreira are in right now. I don't think Ryan Kent is in the strongest starting 11.
Is he the
Yeah.
first winger off the bench? No, that's probably Paul Rothrock though. So I'm so curious where that lies because to see him up there is a vote of confidence that I didn't think we'd seen him get in a little bit.
Well, I remember reading somewhere that Peppo was got felt a little knock in training, I think the day
Hmm.
before. So I think that's probably what explains why Ryan Kent got this nod over him to start. But
Sure looked like he
I'm,
had a knock in the game.
yeah,
So
sure, like they after scoring that fucking Puskas, like
Smart ass. Oh my God. That's a I mean, again, I feel like we're gonna have this winger debate throughout the court till the off season comes, however that may be. Yeah, that's so funny to think about. Well, and then especially in a match like this, as we move over to the Santos Laguna match, I looked over to Nico Antun, and I said, "Is there a better rage baiter right now than Paul Rothrock? Because Paul really can get under a guy's skin. Uh, and anytime it was kind of funny, there was one, Michael brought up the near fist fight within the first 5 minutes, where I saw a one and a white guy go down, a one on the jersey, and I said, "Oh, it's Paul Rothrock." No, it's Denny Musovsky. I was like, "Oh, Denny, I didn't know you. Didn't expect that from you." Uh, yeah, no, it is. I don't know, Ryan Kent. Not. I didn't think when he had that first string of games, those performances, that we would be talking about him like this. I did not think that. But hey, I mean, competition is good, right? This Pete Carroll guy talks about competing all the time. Um, let's move over to Santos Laguna. Yeah, 5 minutes. In who was it with? Oh yeah. Shoot, I don't have my sheet with me. Is he's listed on FootMob as Oscar Ortega, but he's got a different name listed on the roster sheet we were given. Gotten to the face of some Sounders players. There was some shoving, and then shortly after, in the what minute was this? In the seventh
seventh.
minute, the own goal comes off of him. I thought that was quite funny.
He
Uh,
like was a strong contender before Georgi Minoungou came on in this game for like worst cameo of all time because he gets that scores the own goal after trying to fight a guy and then turns around and gets a dog so red and gives away a penalty. Which I mean maybe that's where we can start here. Like is that a foul on Danny Musovsky to pull the shirt?
no, it should have been a foul beforehand. There is a foul
Where?
at the top of the box after Danny goes around the keeper.
Ah, you're saying the shove in the back.
They're shoving the back, yeah, because obviously Danny doesn't lose it doesn't like fall over because his momentum is carrying him forward. He falls over because he gets a little shove. So I think that whole play, a red card, yes, rescind it, whatever. But like there should have been a foul at the top of the box.
Yeah, I'm so
And
curious like where that lies just because like when it's that like when you're moving that fast it's so easy to tip somebody over Like
Hmm.
it doesn't take that much, and he's already kind of in like a compromised position like this. Um, I don't know that I see it as a foul. I understand where the shirt tug comes from, but I honestly didn't think that was a foul either. I went all the way through to the eventual place the penalty was given and said that is the foul.
The shoulder chuck.
The yeah, when Musovski's trying to take a shot and kind of kicks the
Just
turf and also gets kicked.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was it was so weird seeing that happen in real time because you saw a few instances in real time where I was like, okay, this is like they've got to call it. They eventually do, and then we're sitting there waiting. I had time to go to the bathroom, walk around. Like it took a while. Um, and everybody in that press box was shocked. When that when it was like, all right, go kick, fuck off. Uh, it was even funny to kind of hear, oh, yep, this is Leagues Cup. This is how this is gonna go. And it was just like, all right, you just gotta deal with it. Uh
I felt like it was just a complete mockery of the whole clear and obvious rule
Yep,
in
that's where I
VAR.
am.
Like, if you're taking that long to make a decision, just leave it your initial decision on the field at that point. Like, that's what you're supposed to do as a ref. That's what VAR is there for. It was just ridiculous.
I think the
yeah,
only question is like you have to evaluate. You're not just evaluating one situation there. You're going through and clearing three separate potential fouls. Is the only like thing I can think of to say, hey, maybe this is why it took long because you say, hey, is that first one a foul? Is the second one a foul? And so you're not just evaluating one instance of a penalty or a foul.
But the amount of times he was looking over Danny Musovski tugging on the defender's
Yes.
shorts,
Yep.
that was the amount of times on the replay I was watching on TV. I was like, okay, how many more times are we gonna see this?
the what makes this all kind of funnier, just, I guess adds to it. This isn't like a normal match where there's the pro referees, like there's a pool reporter, we can question this. There's nothing for this in Leagues Cup. So it's just like, oh well, it happened. Deal with it. So Lenny Musovski pretty much is what happened. That was kind of that went. Um, yeah, I don't know. It felt like though after the first goal that Seattle, like even before it, the Sounders held firm on this match. Like I didn't really ever feel like Santos Laguna. Truth be told, I didn't feel like they were in this at all. Like they looked like they got their ass handed to them, and it was just kind of like we are pissed at you. You are going to feel the brunt of some of our aggression. Deal with it. Uh, until like that goal happened right at the end, and even then I was like, all right, like this is just a slight annoyance because now I have to change my graphic and put a one in there instead of a zero. Like the longest time, I think Santos Laguna didn't get a shot on like a shot registered on the in stadium stats until extra time of the first half. Like, and even then, that was way off target. So I don't like outside of the tomfoolery, which was the shrieker who came on, poured popcorn on himself, and then like gave himself up. Uh, and then the popcorn was there for the duration of the match. Um, the rescinded red card that we just talked about. Ah, the Georgie. Yeah, so we'll get to that in a second. Um, it was just you take away the like tomfoolery. It is just a Sounders like well controlled victory, right?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think the only explanation here is that they have like some kind of like hypnosis machine outside the visitors' locker room at Lewin Field because teams keep coming in here. I remember we talked about this with Colorado. From
Mm.
seeing the Cruz Azul highlights, it looked similar too. That teams just look like they can't string passes together when they play the Sounders. And really, what this is credit to, the revamped pressing the Sounders are doing. We talked a little bit about how they adjusted their pressing shape and lowered that line of confrontation. It used to be, right when the other team was carrying the ball with their center backs, and you'd get a 4-4-2 shape where the Sounders really stepped up and tried to force that ball into the midfield early. Now they're stepping it back, and it's looking almost like it's about at the halfway line. And really what they're doing is what you saw in this game was Santos Laguna just shifting the ball from left to right. They had more possession in the first half. It might maybe even in the entire game, yeah, 58%. But it's meaningless possession. They had four shots in the whole game. They're just shifting it left to right to left to right. And it doesn't work. And it keeps happening. It keeps happening. This isn't a one-time thing.
I gotta credit the Sounders and Brian Schmetzer for this one because their defensive shape, like you were saying, they kept the line of pressing right near the halfway line, but they kept their shape the entire time. Like I was watching like from roughly about the 25th minute for the rest of the match, they kept that classic 4-2-3-1 shape and kept the battle in the midfield and just yeah, they ceded possession, whatever, we don't care about that, but like I think that there are times where the Sounders break their they'll break their movements and then allow teams to get in behind, but that did not happen at all this game.
Yeah, and I
I
mean, it
loved it.
allows you to shield a guy like Nuhu, maybe who you understand is a great one-on-one defender, but you don't want a guy to be able to turn him with a pass and force him to chase because that's where he's had issues this year. And I mean, if I'm playing the Sounders, that's what I want. I want Nuhu to have to turn and chase a guy down the wing and make him make a poor decision. That doesn't happen when you have guys going left to right to left to right and everything's in front of you. And credit to Charles too, because this also goes back to talking about Pedro de la Vega's defensive actions. Because the wingers are very important here in keeping and really when the ball comes out to one of the fullbacks to force it back inside and not let it down the wing and say, hey, no, you're going to play into our three in midfield. That takes great pressing there.
You go back to you talked about like having a hypnosis machine outside the locker room. They've talked for years about wanting to make it a fortress again. I guess whatever by whatever means necessary, right? I mean, it was interesting hearing the Sounders PR talking about they were trying to get their record at home this year. I think knock on wood wherever you're at. They've lost one match at home this year, from what I understand.
Oh God, that is impressive.
They've
I didn't
also
realize
been
that.
at
Watch,
home
I've just
so
fucked us
often.
over by saying that.
Well, they've also like barely gone on the road.
Yeah,
They
feels
they've
like we've
been
been at
in
Lumen a
Seattle
lot.
so often that like they can just get into a rhythm. I remember last. I mean, this will happen again. But there would be months where they were on the road for 3 or 4 games at a time between these different competitions, and maybe you'd come back to play a game at Starfire, or you'd get one game at Lumen Field. But the fact that they, especially in the front half of the season, and we can say, hey, maybe this is why they've been so much better in the front half of this season than in previous seasons. We'd have to break it down and see what it really looks like. And I don't have those stats in front of me, but maybe they have played more games in a row at home.
I mean, having hosting Leagues Cup and hosting Club World Cup certainly
Yes,
helps
that's a
too.
good point. Those
Yeah.
those are free games at home. Um, and Georgi Minoungou apparently doesn't like to play at Lumen Field because he decided to play for 10 minutes and then left.
He said, "You
Um,
know what? I'm good."
a great 10
Um,
minutes until the last bit. I maybe we can start because this is the first thing that happened is I don't think the first one was a yellow card based on how the referee had been
no,
calling these games.
No, it was so
And that's
soft.
unfortunate. And then the shirt thing is tough, but the first one should not have been a yellow.
yeah, I think first of all, before we get into it, I think the context is important, right? Because as it was like Schmetz talked about this post game. He was like he should have known, and that was the thing is watching the replays. Oops, before we got on the call here, um, like it was kind of funny. It was said in the press box. It was like, why is Nuhu the voice of reason here? Because you see Nuhu come up and be like, put your shirt back on. Like, I don't think he said that for sure, but you see him like trying to help him put it back on. And even Jesus is kind of like, you can see his face, he's mildly annoyed at it. Um, it's tough, right? There's a lot of discourse about this. Uh, I don't know if he's a friend of the show, but the guy that my father refers to as the fake British guy, PA announcer James Wallard, um, had a lot of comments about it because Georgie has like sent him a jersey and everything, so they're best friends, I guess. This is not a diss, but like I've seen it all over my feed because James is replying to like everybody about it. Um,
Including yours truly.
yes, I was trying to not directly say it. I thought you would
That's fine.
just come up with it.
Nope.
It happens, right? It's a mistake. Mistakes happen. Georgie knows it. I don't want to make it directly this comparison, but knew who's made mistakes. He's got to learn from it. Georgie, he will have to learn from it. It's just unfortunate when you add all the layers to this because I don't think did he play in the Cruz Azul match? I don't think so, did he?
No, this was his first appearance since the Club World
Since
Cup.
Club World Cup? Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. So you haven't played since the Club World Cup. You are, I'm sure, aware that you're on a yellow, even if it's a bogus yellow, right? You got to know. Like, well, because Osaze had gotten the yellow in Atlanta,
Yep, yep.
For
right?
the
For
exact same
the
thing.
No, this was
yes.
against Cruz Azul that he got the yellow for doing the head over the shirt. So it was
Oh,
in Leagues
yes.
Cup.
Sorry. The other
In Leagues Cup too, especially, which is important
Yeah,
because
literally like 2 days
you can
before.
say if it's
yeah,
MLS, you're
two
like,
days
hey,
before.
maybe it's different referees. Yeah,
Yeah. So like you get the point my point, right? Is like made a mistake. Uh uh I can feel bad for him, but also know he has to be better. I think that's right. Like, I don't know. It was funny too because we got a reply on Threads of all places. Yes, I know. I still post on
Wow.
Threads. We've gotten a boom of people there lately. I don't know what it is. People, maybe it's just bot farming. I don't know. But some guy was like, "This stupid fucking idiot. What did the shirt even say?" I was like, "Hold on, let's calm down. Like, lower the cholesterol level here, whatever your blood level. Like, calm down." He was like, "Did you even see the shirt?" I was like, "I don't give a shirt." Oh, I didn't mean that. I don't give
Hey,
a shit what the shirt says. Like, let's just calm down a little bit. And it was the Jesus is King in the Adidas font. A few of the players have that. Like I've seen it at training. I've seen them, when they're practicing pregame. Um, it's kind of funny. Noah Rife on Twitter said, "It's Sunday. You can't penalize him on the Lord's Day." I was like, that's not bad.
pretty
Um,
good.
yeah, I think that's what it is, right? You mentioned, Owen brings up I totally forgot Osaze's thing was in Leagues Cup play. All of the matches are blending together. Um, yeah, you add the fact that and like Mike said, it was 2 days before. Like it's not like this was a month or so ago. Yeah, this is in recent memory. Um, it's just unfortunate because yeah, first match since Club World Cup, you score, it's a good goal, and then it's well, now I'm in the doghouse again. Like,
heck of a goal.
Here,
For what it's
oh,
worth.
heck of a goal.
Steps
And here,
inside, curls it, right foot into the right like side netting. It's one of those ones that you don't really think is going in, and you're like, oh, and then it ducks in.
no, it's beautifully placed. Now, there's one thing I wanted to bring up though with Georgie.
mm.
So was it last year before against Timbers? We saw Leo Chu do the exact same
Yeah,
thing,
Oh my God.
exact same thing, and we
Oh
saw
I've been
his
waiting for you
yeah.
to bring it
we saw
up.
his entire like Sounders career get derailed because he got a red by that. Like, do we think that Schmetz is going to give Georgie a little more leeway, or do you think this is going to be the last time we see him for the rest of the year? Like,
Oh. Uh
I know they're two completely different players, two completely different
sure.
situations, but like there are too many parallels with the situation where I'm like, it's
Young
it's not
winger.
it's not nothing.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Owen. I think they'd be hard pressed to not see him the rest of the year. Right?
Yeah, oh, no, absolutely. I mean, it's tough because I honestly I do think the winger depth is better right now than it was probably at this point last year. So it's already harder for him to get into the team. I think when you have those two guys as the same options, I probably would rather see Georgi Minoungou off the bench than Leo Chu. I fully develop. At full development, it's probably Leo Chu who's the better player. But Georgie's spark off the bench is something we keep talking about. I mean that's what's keeping him as an option is that he can do exactly what he did in the Santos Laguna game. He can really get a guy on the back foot and step inside who's been having to deal with Pedro de la Vega um for 70 80 minutes. Um no, I mean you're gonna see him again this year. But it's really tough to see him. He's a young player. And if there's one thing we know, it's that more often than not, the Sounders organization gives young players the chance to, uh, come back from a mistake. Who's had 6 seasons to do it.
Mhm. Yeah, before you mention like the mistake part, I was like just gonna cut it off at young players' like, chances because they still tried Reed Baker Whiting at defender. I don't think. I don't know. I had a conversation with he's one of the cameramen at Mariners games, but he's always wearing an ECS shirt whenever I see him. So I'm not saying this is like expert level analysis, but he's like, man, if I was a Liga MX team, I just run it Reed Baker Whiting every fucking time. I'm like, I know
Well, I
that
saw Tom
like
Brady today say the Sounders should, or say the U.S. should just have a prospect like Lamine Yamal, and then they'd be all good. So
just yeah. Why don't the Sounders just
Expert
sign
level
a
analysis.
Lamine Yamal level U22 player?
why don't they just have him come out of the academy? I mean,
Duh.
just make it happen.
Just
Thanks for
inject.
the analysis.
Yeah. I'll just take Peter Kingston from the Tacoma Defiance and juice him up a bunch, and then we'll save.
Juice them up a bunch.
Yeah. Duh. Why don't you just do that? Fuck you, Tom Brady. Um, Tom Brady straight. Yeah. Sorry, where was I? Okay. I think we'll close out Leagues Cup thing and talk about Noah State name and other transfers around the league. Western Conference, sorry. Um, so what they need is essentially if they get a point on Wednesday, they're all but guaranteed to advance. It's kind of interesting seeing the shoot. Oh, here it is, the standings. I was like, where did I put this on my like 8 windows I have open on my computer? Really hope this thing doesn't explode one day. Um, Cascadia is atop the MLS side, which hey, good for you. It was funny. Um, I don't know his name. Michael probably does, but I was on my Twitter feed and one of the Cascadia FC reporters had Evander's quote about we're already thinking about going to the final, and I was like, hey, that's
About that.
crazy. Like, let's confidence is great, but wow, okay. I thought that was fascinating. Mike, did you see that? I thought that was
I did, yeah. That was our guy Jeremy.
Jeremy.
He
Yeah,
posted that,
okay.
yeah.
I was like, KDFC shout out. But I saw that I was like, are you? Are we sure? Hey, I mean they've got 6 points. Hey, you know, they don't have quite the goal differential that Seattle has, but hey, uh,
Nobody
yeah, it's
does.
no Seattle, Miami, Seattle, Portland. Sorry, I just completely wiped Portland out of my brain, which I usually do. Seattle,
Fair.
Portland, Miami, and Minnesota. With one, two, three, four, five teams just outside looking in at Minnesota. Um,
It's wild.
Tijuana, Tijuana, not so good. Um, I don't know. Before I move over to transfer stuff, any thoughts on Tijuana? Anything you want to see lineup wise? Because you want to at least get the draw, but I don't imagine you just play for a draw, right? I don't,
Yeah,
any
I'm
thoughts on
curious
what?
if we see some Owen Vargas rest in this one. Christian
Mm.
Aldana got a break in the last, a much needed break in the last
Well,
one,
then
and
they
Danny
subbed him on
Leyva looked
late.
great. Yeah, I don't know. Danny Leyva looked, typically
Phenomenal.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So start
He's
Christian.
honestly a great player, and I'm curious. But on the free kick split between him and Albert Rusnak, um, yeah, that's not going to be a thing really that we've dealt with too much this year. But Albert got I think all of the free kicks until he went off. Um, and Danny's, I'm sure you guys have seen him a bit in training. The free kick that generated the Nuhu goal
Ah,
was also well done, and I was curious that he didn't get more of those opportunities.
I wouldn't hate if he took over free kicks, even if Rusnak was on the field with them.
Yeah.
I
Um,
agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm curious where the balance falls between, hey, we really want to put Obed in the shop window, and hey, we need Obed to, not lose his legs.
The thing is,
Yeah.
Obed's been balling out. Both of these games, he's like an engine. He just doesn't stop. He's been
You
so
got to be
good.
careful, man. You got to be
I
careful.
know. He's young, but like,
Speaking of Lamine Yamals,
So
the closest thing the Sounders have is this guy Obed Vargas, and you don't want him to play too many games.
if I'm making you guys are both taking over as a Brian. You are now Brian Schmetzer. What is your decision in that pivot? Right? What like are we playing Obed and I don't know, give take playing him only a certain number of minutes? Are you starting Danny Leva and then maybe Obed some run at the end? Okay, Brian, like make your decision. What are we doing here? I'm forcing you to make a decision.
I'm gonna say this is not a game we were worried about in terms of winning. Uh, they barely beat the Rapids. They're not a great team, but you do want to. I think what Danny Leva gives you is a strong option in the middle there. And I'm very confident in a pivot between him and Christian Roldan. I think that's where I'd go, especially because you only got Christian 5-10 minutes in the last game. You do want him to one of the best players on your team to keep getting minutes. That's where I'd go.
You know what? I'm gonna go opposite that. Give me Danny Leva, gets a nod, fantastic game. Give me Snyder Brunel.
Oh, wow.
Let
I
the
don't I don't
kids
know. I don't
start.
know if I write Teal'c off that much.
I
It would be cool to it would
I,
be cool to see him get some minutes.
I only say that because obviously Christian and Obed will play 2,300 minutes this game. Charles and I talked about this last episode,
Hmm.
and next in the next coming rounds, the Sounders, thankfully, hopefully they make it through. But their next opponents will end up being they'll be on the same bracket as Inter Miami, and we can face Portland in the final. There's a chance to have a
Oh, Jesus.
Cascadia derby in the Leagues Cup final, and I think you want to have both of those players 100%. So I mean, start start the Defiance kids first, and then if things aren't going very well, bring on one of the two at
I
halftime.
want Cody Baker in the pivot.
God, honestly, yes, give me Cody Baker.
I want Alex Roldan in the pivot and then
Oh,
Cody Baker at right back.
Ooh, ooh.
No. I want a Roldan pivot. No. We're just spitballing. No, I think I do think it's worth starting this game with your better lineup because it's way easier to get ahead on a team early and then shut it down than be 0-0 for 65 minutes and then have to go get a goal.
And
I
when it
think
comes
it's
to
fair.
defense, do you guys want to see some defense rotation, or do you want your strongest four back there?
Charles?
Give me my strongest four. I mean, because at the end of the day, you need a draw. Plus, I'm selfish and I like watching Yamar play. Like,
Yeah,
don't be
don't
wrong,
mind.
it's
You
still
forget how
like,
good he is a
man,
little bit.
he puts in a great shift. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy in that regard. Jackson Reagan got player of the match for the Santos Laguna one. Um, I mean, I don't know. What would you change? I'd have my new who. You do not have better left back than Nuhu.
No,
Like,
and
I'm
he's
tired.
playing really well right now. Like,
He is.
why would you stop that?
He's also really soft spoken. We had him in the mix zone last night, in the back of Lumen, like again, in the like cave of Lumen Field tunnels, trying to hear him. I'm like, brother, I can't use any of this if I'm just gonna hear a bunch of like backing up trucks. I need you to speak up. Um, yeah. So what? Nuhu, Reagan, Yamar.
Alex.
Yes. We just said that Alex Roldan is keeping Kalani Costa Rienzi out of the lineup, and he
Yeah.
still is.
I wanted to like if maybe selfishly, if I'm making any changes or giving a guy a day off, hey, put in Kalani. uh, yeah, no,
Wouldn't be a
I'd keep
horrible
my
option, but
no, I'd
No,
keep my
absolutely not. It would
strong
work, but
defense out there. Um, then from there we get a little bit interesting. There we can kind of figure some things out. See, maybe I don't know about Snyder Brunel. It'll be fun,
I would
fun.
like to see him get some run.
Yeah,
You get a couple goals. I
let's
want to see
let's
what he
get a
can do.
couple goals and
yeah.
then unleash the child, unleash the baby. Go out there,
Unleash the baby.
unleash the baby, and it's Snyder Brunel. Yeah. Um. Okay. Let's talk about transfers. So yes, Mike's been tuned on. Tuned on? Yes, you've been tuned on. Mike's been tuned into this for a while, but it's become very clear in the last few weeks, right? That no, Ohio's not becoming a Seattle Sounder. He is not a Seattle Sounder. He will not be learning Brian Schmetzer. Um, it was reported Mike's had us on here on his own stuff that fees were offered, negotiated all that, and then of course the big fish and Sounder, Hart, Nico Moreno, the whole lot. had their things, and it was just up to No Ohio, like Mike had told us. No Ohio says, I'm okay, and he will not come and hang out with us. He will not be on the show. Um, so I guess there's no debating here because if the guy doesn't want to come, he's not coming. Um, I guess my question, and I was thinking about this before we hit the record button. Um, I have to imagine they're still gonna look to use the U22 spot. I guess you like I feel like it would be really bad if they just didn't sign anybody. I feel like that would be not great. If you disagree, you can tell me.
Oh
But
no, 100% agree.
okay. I was just like, I don't know. Um, I don't know. What do you want to see with that U22 spot? Because Mike and I have talked about it. I feel like when we've had Owen on in recent weeks, we've talked about it. Um, they want to sign somebody that will not only potentially help them now, but someone who will impact them for years and it's not just a one and done. We're not acquiring a rental here. Um, I don't know. What do you want to see from Seattle in a potential, transfer window pickup? Because it's not going to be no Ohio. Uh, and I will go to you, and then I will go to Mike because I went to Mike first on a few of these.
Yeah, I mean, I think the timing with this is interesting because Osase has just scored 2 goals. Um, and it's not to say that he is the long-term option there. I mean, obviously, you can't take that from a couple of games, but I mean, he doesn't look bad, and I think you have to give him a little bit of run, especially given that he's been in this system, so he has a head start on anybody who you potentially bring in and you really have to integrate into a Brian Schmetzer system. He understands how to play for this club. And he gives you a different type of player. How we've been talking about, we want a guy who can go box with center backs. Um, it's like when you get like a nice big X receiver after
Yeah.
playing with guys who are like 5'10" for 3 years. And this is when we start talking about Oregon's cornerbacks. Um,
Oh, Jesus.
um,
God.
that said, I do think the place you look is striker. I don't think that you're looking for a guy to replace Pedro de la Vega anymore. The
No.
winger slots are way too compact, and I there's not really a hole at the number 10 position right now. Unless you bring in a guy who understands that he's going to sit behind Albert Rusnak for at least a year. I think striker is the spot you look at.
And that's exactly what they plan on doing. As far as I know, the Sounders and Craig Weibel, they are dead set on only signing a U22 striker. As much as I want them to sign a midfielder as some extra backup, the plan is still a striker. We've seen Nico Moreno report on it as well.
Hmm.
I do have they are scouting 2 players right now. They're talking to 2 players. Um, one in South America, one over in Europe still. I don't have, I mean, I have a couple names I will say, but I'm not going to obviously drop them yet because I need to get some confirmation. But they are still planning on pushing for that U22 striker, even though with Osaze coming into his own, and with Danny the Goat Musovski playing the way he is.
I'm curious. Do you know the type of player they're looking at here? Are they looking at a big striker? Are they looking at like maybe a guy closer to Jesus Ferreira sized?
Both of them are a little like more like Danny Musovski size, so they're going to be
Okay.
more in that 5'10" to like 6'1", 6'2" type range. They want as far as I know, the players that they type want, they want someone a big box presence. So basically, what
Mm.
Osaze has given us, but with a player with a higher ceiling.
Hmm.
They want Jordan Morris back. Yeah, it's what they want. I mean,
Talking to
I mean,
players,
yeah, they
and it's
want
it's
just
Jordan.
the
them
type of
talking.
player that this team plays best with, right?
Yeah.
It's true. I mean,
A guy
that
who
was also
a
the
guy.
problem with Noah Ohio. Like, he was not that type of player. He's definitely the Osaze type of player. He's a big boy. He's a box presence, but he's not very fast. Very low defensive work rate. So, like, it was
Yeah, you
him
want a guy
saying
who gets in the
no was a
channels.
blessing in disguise.
You want a guy who gets in the channels and opens up that space for De La Vega and Rusnak. I'm curious. I'll be curious to see the type of player they signed, and if what Mike's reporting is, which I trust, is good, then that's exactly what we'd expect. That player is not Luke De Jong who walked out of the tunnel, which could be
Fabrizio
the
had
greatest
no
thing.
idea.
I love it, honestly. It's amazing. It could be with the players these Western Conference teams are signing. Thomas Muller, Heung-min Son fits right in there.
Can
That's wild.
you
How we
imagine
haven't
we're
we haven't talked about
just
the Thomas Mueller yet, but oh my
we
God.
ha I think I mentioned it offhand to begin the last episode or something like that, and then it was like, all right, let's get back to it. I think that's how it went. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Um,
It's gonna be fun. I like having him in the Western Conference.
it just means we get to cover them. I mean,
Exciting.
We
I
do
was
get to
just
see him in
glad.
October.
I wonder if he's bringing his horses.
I was just glad to see Son not on Tottenham anymore. I mean, I root for the Asian guy. Um, I guess in that regard, with some of the moves, I'm not really worried about Toronto. I kind of forget that Toronto exists, honestly, ever since
Just the
they're
team the Sounders played,
yeah, no,
three
but since
times in
then,
MLS Cup.
I'm like, you are hush.
Gosh,
Um,
they've really gone in different directions.
you see what I mean?
That's honestly that's a great not to step on your toes, but that's a great illustration of the two ways to be an MLS club. Sounders really commit to the academy and U22 slots. Toronto goes and gets Bernardeschi and Insigne, and look where they are.
The smoking
Uh,
Italians.
yeah.
Listen,
Um,
you can't bend the rules like Miami. That's where you're gonna end up.
Messi and friends. Uh, I guess with the LAFC signing, yeah, going back to Thomas Muller, uh, are we concerned at all? Because I mean, like, obviously we're in Leagues Cup mode right now. Leagues Cup. Oh wait,
Hey, that's cute.
I shouldn't have that. Leagues Cup. Uh, but one of the last, I think we talked about this last week, but the West is still very much open. Vancouver's up there like one hair behind. I don't know what that is. One hair behind San Diego. 45 points for Vancouver, 46 for San Diego. Seattle's 8 points behind San Diego, seven behind Vancouver, six behind Minnesota, and then Portland's one behind Seattle. So there's a lot to play for.
Gosh, it's really
Um,
setting up nicely for the end of the season here.
It'd be so fun
Jets. So
and
yeah,
stressful.
fun is a word. Um, are we worried at all about some of these signings that are being made around the West? I mean, LAFC is in sixth right now. They're 2 points behind Seattle. They had Son. Um, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Is there concern with kind of seeing some of these signings? Because the point was brought up is like, yes, these guys are still old. Like this isn't new. The MLS has had this happen before, where they bring in. I still remember the Wayne Rooney days in MLS. Um, yeah, I don't know. Is there any concern with the signings that the other Western Conference teams are making, or is it just kind of yawn? I'm not concerned with this.
I'm more concerned about Vancouver than I am LAFC, to be honest. With Ryan Gold most likely out for the rest of the season, and Thomas Mueller probably be playing in that kind of that second striker that is
Raumdeuter.
true, the Roy Deuter. He's gonna thrive in that system, and I think they're gonna be even scared than they already are.
Yeah, I mean that's like a career mode signing right there. You really just go and get the dude who's how old is he
Free
now? Like
agent.
35, free agent. Um, yeah, I think he's gonna be good. For players who have excelled at that level in Europe, the game just kind of slows down when they come to MLS. And he's great at really picking out those spots. Yeah, the Sun thing is interesting because I think it's always I think the biggest thing I think when I think about Heung-min Son, other than he's really nice, is that he's just a really quality finisher. Um, and that's really important in MLS because there are guys who can be creative, but you don't have a lot of guys who really are unbelievable finishers, and the guys who are either winning MVPs like Denny Bouanga
Yeah.
or they're not in MLS anymore. So to have two of those guys on one team, it does scare me a little bit because if you get a ball in the 18-yard box, anywhere near some of those guys, it's getting on target. It's probably going in the goal.
My thing with that is we thought the same thing about Olivier Giroud. Like he is an elite finisher and still is even
Yeah,
to this day. Even
good
the year
point.
last year at Milan, but he didn't thrive in LA. I mean, he didn't fit the system, so that's a little different. But
Yeah, let's hope
until
it's
we
an LAFC
see,
problem.
Hmm.
True. We don't got to worry about that.
I am curious who kind of gets that spot on the left because Boanga slides inside sometimes. But you're kind of picking who you want to have that opportunity to slide in there because I don't really think you want Son on the right because it's just not going to fall as well. For him, and you've got young wingers that you can play there, but I also, he's played at striker for Tottenham. Does he fall there? I think probably one of those guys goes up top in that 4-3-3, and then one on the left. I don't know where they're going to fall, and I think that's going to be what we're watching for.
I can imagine them like kind of like how Madrid play right now, where like Vinny and Mbappe are kind of like just kind of intertwining between the two spots. I can imagine that
That's
happening, but
terrifying to think about.
Hmm.
I don't like thinking about that. But at least we've already played them twice. So we don't have to worry about them until the playoffs. So
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
casually introduces nightmare fuel. Thanks, buddy. That's great.
you're welcome.
Um, yeah, okay. Well, I guess that's kind of what I had was the two Leagues Cup Leagues Cup matches, and then some kind of transfer stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, Buscas de la Vega. Uh, any general predictions or thoughts on how Wednesday will go?
Owen, take her away.
Snyder Brunel gets an assist just for
Oh,
Charles.
what an assist. Okay.
Yes.
Well
I,
contribution as
I
well.
I think the Sounders win 1-0.
Oof. Okay.
I
Keep
think you
it
get a goal early. It looks
classic.
a lot like this Santos Laguna game, but then they just end up shutting it down.
Yeah, no reason to do anything else. Mike?
I'm saying 3-1 Sounders win with another Pedro de la Vega brace.
That
Jesus.
would that would be big time. That would be big time.
So it really was the hair that was holding him back.
It seems like it.
There's your lesson. Just shave your head. Come on, guys. Next episode, come back
I'm actually kind
and
of surprised right now.
Us, we're a bald cap.
what? It is kind of funny because now when I do the graphics, all of my photos, well, like especially the Salish kit, long hair Pedro. I was like, oh fuck, this isn't accurate. No, and I'm not like gonna Photoshop his hair out to be like, what is wrong with him? Well, all right. Wednesday. Oh, it's an 8 o'clock start on a Wednesday. This is so stupid. Oh my God. And it's really gonna start at like 8:15.
Oh God,
Um, yeah, Wednesday, 8. You don't want to come up, Mike?
I'll be fast asleep, brother.
Not hunk shoeing? Wow, hunk shoeing. And then the next one, oh no, it is a two match week. Okay. Um, well, I think I doesn't it depend on the if they advance, I don't know, would that move the Galaxy match on Sunday?
I thought that they were supposed to be playing Leagues Cup midweek games after the group stage.
Jeez, more midweek games. God damn it. Okay. Because yeah, Tijuana on Wednesday, 8 o'clock at Lumen Field. Ungodly 8 o'clock. And then the next scheduled match is LA Galaxy, August 10th. That is a Sunday, at 7 o'clock at Dignity Health Sports Park. Ooh.
And Carson,
Thought I saw that Tijuana actually got their ass kicked by LA
they did
Galaxy.
5-2.
Yeah, Jesus. I was like, oh wow. Okay. Don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. Well, so we'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves, be well, do whatever you can to make today a great day.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey. So where are you going to watch all of the Sounder away games this year?
Away games for the Sounders. Well, since Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that's a great idea. Go Sounders. Hope we see you all here.